So the agent tick run has started. It start like three sub agents, and I don't know which agent will call which agent when, right? And it does tool calls as well, like it uses the Serper API to do the search thing. Right. So I don't know how the agentic run would happen, but I, as an engineer, like if this is my application, I want to understand like how each tool, how each agent, when the LLM call was made, the request was made, right? So I pre-ran the agent obviously to save time, and I wanted to show like once you have the data flowing in from the Observability instrumentation to any of the observability stacks, to be honest, since it's OTel native, um, what you get is like the most overview based information like cost and tokens, which are like, all right, as an user, I do want to track my cost and tokens, the request latency and stuff like that. But as you drill down, like if I am the engineer who built the AI agent, I want to actually track the sequence of events that happened in the agentic execution run, right? And for that, we do need like traces here. And I'm gonna use the assistant as well because this is like a long a span of events that happened from the single agentic run that I did. Right, there's a lot of spans in here, and as an engineer, I don't have time to go through each and every agentic run that might happen. I have 100 users. I can't go through each 100 users agentic runs. Right, so I'll use the assistant. I'll see all right where do I have the issue because I do see errors a lot of places. But why did the error happen? Which tool calls had the error? And I do want to get like a very big picture overview of all right, which agent called which agent, when the LLM call was made, which LLM call is like very slow, the duration is very slow, and where I can actually optimize. That's where I find the assistant very useful, like explaining these long traces, right? So like I with the assistant, I obviously didn't run this before. Right, a lot of my requests are like wasted on local like retries itself, which uh, as an engineer now I know like where I need to optimize, right, in the long run of things. um, and it does also a lot of times does explain me the entire sequence of agent pass, but this time since it's live it did not tell me that, which is expected, I guess. But yeah, like as an engineer, like now I feel a bit more safer since I have the information about like, all right, how much tokens I've been using, how much cost I've been using, how much what my users have been prompting. Because each LLM call, like let's open this for example, I would have the information about all right, what was the completion, like the response from the LLM, what was the input, what was the output, and how much cost like each request had. Like there should be a parameter for cost. Where did that goes? Um, yep, cost. So I can associate like cost with each LLM request and at the end of the day. And so this is very useful information for me, to be honest. And also, this is not just me tracking the LLM calls. This also helps me track like all of the vector DB calls that I might have, all the tool calls that I might have. So and I can always map this much more cleanly. I can close a lot of this so that I can drill down into all right, which agent had issues, where I can optimize things. And then obviously I drill down into more aspects like which LLM I've been using, how much by system, by environment, by platform. I can track the latencies. I can always find the time to first token and all right, how much is Anthropic doing and how much is OpenAI doing. And with that, at least I have the information. If I want a faster replies from the LLM, I might end up using OpenAI. That's it, right? Um, this is like the observability aspect of things, right? But we also like as we discussed, we also always want to do evals, right? All right, I have the prompts and the responses from the LLM, the response from the LLM for a specific prompt, right? But how do we classify if the response is actually right? We, as Lucas mentioned, like we use LLM to evaluate the first LLM itself, right? In this as well, I use the OpenAI SDK itself to calculate the evaluation since they expose like an hotel metric, which is easier for me to validate. A lot of the AI tools also have like online evaluation itself. We don't have that feature as of now, but still, for some people, I think code-based evals are still nicer because you don't need to actually store the response and prompts in the observability vendor. Because for like security reasons, sometimes some vendors cannot. Right. So with that, like I at least have the information already. What problems does the response generally have? Like why is it being classified as a failed evaluation? Like I have factual inaccuracies in my responses, so maybe there's a context issues. I always have information already why a specific text from an LLM response was tagged as a like a failed evaluation, right? And I can always see like, all right, what is my hallucination score, what is my toxicity score, and based on this information, at least I have a very good head start to build the second iteration of my age LLM feature that I released in the first.